And a selection row rocks the Proteas. Live from Johannesburg, this is E! News Primetime. A very good evening. It's been a day of blood and bullets in Soweto. 4 armed robbers have been gunned down in a dramatic shootout with police. 6 of their accomplices were wounded and arrested. The gang robbed a bank on the Doornkop mine at around 10 o'clock this morning. Now please note, you may find some of these visuals disturbing.
The drama started at this bank when 10 armed robbers stormed in and held up tellers. Within minutes, they'd made off with a vast amount of cash from the safe. But acting on a tip-off, police gave chase and caught up with the robbers about 3 kilometers away here in Dobsonville Gardens, Soweto. The gang opened fire on police with automatic rifles and pistols. In the gun battle that followed, 3 of the suspects never made it out of this panel van alive. A 4th, trying to make his escape, was gunned down on the pavement. 6 other members of the gang were wounded and arrested. An innocent bystander was also among the casualties after being caught in the crossfire. The stolen money has been recovered and police confiscated 10 firearms, including an AK-47 and an Uzi submachine gun.
This will be a deterrent, and we hope that the message will go to the criminals that we will not tolerate crime in this area.
The number of bank robberies and cash-in-transit heists usually increases during the festive season, but police are hoping this bloodbath will make any would-be robber think twice before attempting something similar.
And police are getting tough on speeding motorists too. Johannesburg's Metro Police say they want to seize the luxury car of Vusimusi Masondela. He is the Director General of Social Development and was trapped speeding at 228 kilometers an hour.
As a senior government official, he should be setting an example to others. But police arrested Vusimusi Masondela on Sunday when he was caught travelling at over 200 kilometers an hour on the N1 highway. Now Metro Police have their eyes on his luxury Mercedes SLK, worth about 700,000 rand.
As far as people who have a high profile is concerned, we're going to make an example with this particular Mercedes-Benz, the SLK. And we were going to forfeit it. We'll make sure that all procedures are followed. We'll make sure that we apply to the asset forfeiture unit, and we'll make sure that the car is forfeited to the department.
In court, Masondela's name was called several times, but he was not present. He'd already been released on just 1,500 rands bail. Investigators say he will only appear in court later this week.
The message for would-be speedsters this festive season is clear and simple. If you are caught, you will face the full force of the law. And traffic officials aren't the only ones who've had enough of reckless motorists.
The Automobile Association says it's about time speedsters had their cars confiscated.
The recent judgment for vehicles to be forfeited to the state is sending such a good signal to people out there to behave themselves over this festive season. The fact that you can lose your vehicle because you've done something wrong, but also that you've done it so wrong in a sense that it is such a serious offence.
Neither Masondela or his department were willing to comment on his arrest. Belinda Moses, E! News, Johannesburg.
Race is on for the next leader of the official opposition. Tony Leon announced yesterday that he's stepping down as Democratic Alliance leader. His successor will be elected at the party's Federal Congress next May.
Tony Leon has led his party for 13 years, guiding it from a small liberal movement to the nation's official opposition. He's become well known for his vocal challenges to the ANC. But when he steps aside next year, just who'll be in line to fill his shoes? Cape Town Mayor Helen Zille is a clear frontrunner. She enjoys a very high profile, thanks mainly to a recent run-in with the ANC over the way Cape Town is governed. DA stalwart and Chief Whip Douglas Gibson should also not be ignored. He's the parliamentary face of the DA and has decades of political experience. And then there's former Land Claims Commissioner and DA Chairman Joe Seremane. the highest-ranking black member of the party.
Look, I'm black, and as I speak to you and you say to me, be a leader of the DA because you're black, I'll take offense to that. You must actually say to me, here's the leadership of the DA, are you ready for it? Do you have the guts, do you have the expertise to really fill the shoes of Tony Leon? I'll do that.
The DA says it will not be actively campaigning for a black person to take over the reins from Tony Leon, but rather a competent candidate, regardless of race or gender. Aisha Ismail, E-News, Parliament.
We're joined now by E-News political analyst Justice Malala to discuss Tony Leon's announcement. Justice, good evening. Picking up on that last point in that package, is it likely that we're going to see a black leader for the DA?
I think for the DA, they'd love to have a black leader because they've clearly identified the problem, and the problem is that they've grown and grown as a party among the white electorate, but they haven't found the same appeal, the same growth amongst black South Africans, and therefore they're dying to have this. But unfortunately, I think the party hasn't groomed young, hard-hitting black leaders, and therefore, by next year when they go to conference, they'll be looking around and searching around, and I don't think they'll find one. Joe Seremane, who we saw in the clip, I don't think many don't think in the party that he's material for a leader to replace Tony Leon.
Tony Leon's departure, is this a great opportunity to change direction for the party, to draw those votes that they haven't been able to up until now?
I think it's a great opportunity. They themselves have said, they've attracted a mere 2%, less than 2% of black South Africans. And I think for them, it's a great opportunity to say, okay, we've grown so much, now it's time to break out and become a real threat to the ANC. A new leader would come in, would drop the abrasiveness, the combativeness of Tony Leon, and take on a stance that says, we speak to all South Africans, we speak to blacks and whites, and grow the party itself. It's a great opportunity if they can take it.
Do you think it's critical they change the style? You mentioned the acerbic style of Tony Leon. Do you think that's entrenched in the party, or are we likely to see a change in the way they do politics?
I think they shouldn't change the kind of style that they go about politics, because people actually, I think, mostly like that. They like the fact that they take on issues. I think what they need to change is to not be seen as so anti-government that they're seen as anti-black. They need to be seen as a wider kind of party that embraces everyone.
Justice Malala, thank you very much for joining us. Well, let's take a quick look now at the markets.